So with Furia not dropping a single series so far this stage, last stage, KZ was basically the only one dragging Furia over the line. This time, JV92 is a whole like 14, 15 EPS above KZ to be the #1 player in the league. This is not Furia of stage 1, who were seeming like they were going through a weird little bit of either identity or personal crisis, and just a lot of players really struggling to have impact, including JV92. That's not the Furia of this stage. Everyone, aside from Nade, is above 100 EPS. Everyone looks confident. JV92, as Jesse pointed out, is playing Deimos, which is scary as all hell. I don't know. It's just a hard situation where I do like ENX. I like Boxera in particular, as I've said many times. But, like, in the form Furia are in right now, if they're doing well in SAL group stage, every other team is in bad shape.
I heard that JV92 was on a bit of a personal vendetta because there was a commentator that called him forgettable. And I think ever since that moment, they've made it like their whole stage's mission to just overperform.
Okay. We need to add some context to this statement. Just to be clear, I called JV92 forgettable for like 3 rounds, and I didn't even mean it as like he was bad. I was like, oh yeah, JV92's like got 6 kills so far, and I don't remember a single one. I didn't even mean that as an insult. I meant like, hey, look, this man is just like, this man's not going for the glory. He's just putting in the work, chipping away at it, getting a kill every round, and I respect that. And ever since then, oh, Link says JV92 was forgettable. Link said JV92 didn't have an impact.
I think maybe it was lost in translation, obviously, because it was spoken in English, and then he's translated that into Portuguese. So I think there was something there that's maybe. But I was speaking to them last night, and that is yeah,
that's what
that's
the streets are saying.
Yeah, that's the reason for the glow up. So I guess we kind of blame you or we thank you, depending on which side of, depending on I guess who Furia is playing against and whatever preference you've got in terms of team supporting.
He really, I said that, and it was like the next round he started getting 3Ks. Like he, whether I meant to or not, he did take it personally. And you know what? If it's gonna fuel this performance, I'll keep saying stuff like that, because when JV92 is performing well, Siege as a game is more fun to watch. And Furia games in particular are that much more fun as well. It's Nade, though, lowest rated player. That's not really a problem when the rest of your team is doing so well. Who gets the first pick onto Angels? The Azami on a roam taken out early. That's not great. Things only get worse as KZ decides to get active. Looked back to the last Lair game where not ENX, excuse me, but where 9Z were taking ages to clear out a roam. Furia walk in, take 2 fights, and that's the roam done in a minute.
Very effective, isn't it? They can immediately start to move forward now. Birds is just baiting for someone here. Oh, please don't give him this, Mitrix. Ooh. I mean, if I'm Mitrix, I'm going, why is he watching that at this point? They're 5 versus 3, and I can't just peek out of a window. Mitrix is going to die right now. Guaranteed. You can't keep peeking that, Mitrix. You've got to, like, stop. That's not a gunfight to take.
Especially as the flashbang's coming in behind him. Furia's like, yeah, we know you're there. We know what you're trying to do. Bach does take down JV92. Well, perhaps that'll be the rivalry of this series. If it is, I can tell you it is going to be really entertaining, no matter the result. But neither defender in a particularly good position right now, as when the utility goes through, Furia to sprint into sight. Herds clotheslines Mitrix. Stat stuck looking the wrong way. Fox 2 kills so far will likely be impactless as the diffuser goes down. Nade and KZ retreat to their positions while Fellapox continue providing information as to the Warden's location. Nade, we don't need to do all that. We don't need to start swinging. Just calm down. We got, what, 18 seconds left before Boxera doesn't even have a chance to get this counter defuse on time. We're all good. This will be the first round for Furia, looking quite good in the attack out the gate, which we would hope for a team that has the record they do.
Furia fighting over that last kill there. Felipox not happy that Boxera was just trying to hide away and pick players off. He was like, no, I'm playing the Blitz. You might be the Warden, but I'm still just going to rush you down. KZ to collect. Furia looking very good, as we have come to expect. It can always be a mixed bag, and I think SAL in general is a region where teams, I mean, all the way back to sort of 2020, 2021. I remember teams that would would underperform in the regular group stage. And because of the way that the playoffs worked, they knew that they could do that because as soon as the best of threes come around, they switch it on and bam, 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 and they'll make whatever event it is that they wanted to make at the end. And they just have they give you kind of a tough time as a fan watching during the regular stage because you're like, well, no, they're better than this. But for Furia to be this good in the stage, it can only be a good sign of what is to come out of this roster, as their sights will firmly be set on Munich and making that major. With the way that they're playing at the moment, I would put them up against a lot of good teams internationally.
Probably every team internationally, to be honest with you. Not saying they're guaranteed to win every matchup, but like Furia in this form, like we said, if they're pulling this out in group stage, assuming playoffs is anything like this, it's going to be a scary time to face Furia in the server. Unless it's some weird situation where all of a sudden Furia, who've had a trend for 2 years, flip-flop. It's like, actually, we only do well in group stage, but now we just shake in the big matches. I don't think that's going to be the case, by the way, but that'd be funny.
Imagine developing a shake as Furia after the circumstances that they won SI in.
Can you imagine developing a shake after winning like 4 international events, beating FaZe in the domestic league last stage? It's like, wait, guys, what if we don't win? Which, like, hey, you know, human beings are weird. Our emotions can sometimes take over, but I don't see that happening for Furia. Especially Angel still thinks he's that guy and can quick peek ops door. Opening pick 2 rounds in a row has been the Azami, and Angels both times. Mitrix is like, hey, I've got a shield, maybe I can do better. Then immediately goes, why would I do this? This is a bad idea, and then backs up. ENX have completely lost the early round, unfortunately, and will have to try and look to the mid to late game as a way to fight back.
You should be able to do something with Mitrix on this clash. I mean, they can at least be body checking different areas like storage and in towards storage window. Just ensuring that no one's allowed to walk up or walk in. JV doesn't really want to take that head-to-head with the clash, as there's no real good outcome for it. Herd's looking to try and make a little bit of space elsewhere. Our 6 room being held down by Bok right now as well. The good thing about Furia is, or something to note, is that if you think they're stalling out, you've just got to give them a little bit more time, because very often it is the prep that goes into the execute and the final setup. They'd fall into Bok. It might not be going as planned this time. Felipox is primed and ready to jump into display window, but he needs something else to be going on to give him the cover to allow him to do that.
Furia running into that obstacle could prove to be a problem. They always tend to find these gaps, but Florio and Sexy Cake both ready for it. Flash 2 stunning Felipox's walk-up rocket. Herds just finding the left side of Sexy Cake's head. Takes a lot of HP to get that done, and Furia still struggling for solutions. With an even harder problem to solve, 1v3 that will not likely find any success for Felipox. ENX do fight back very quickly, able to win a defense on our 6 room.
Playing around the clash really well there as well. They'd lost the opening pick and were still able to convert that round. Salvage that round, should we say. Mitrix on the clash really being the solid win condition there, because there were just areas of the map that Furia never had an idea or a real good way of taking control of. Display window, storage. You've got a clash in and around those areas. They are really compact spaces, and it can be very difficult to try and hop in, and especially if you're going to try and get a pinch off onto the clash. If there's a little bit of support in the area, which there was for ENX, it can be extremely difficult to do so. Hats off to the clash play as well, because there's a lot of hard floors in and around those areas, so you're going to be fairly safe even if Furia do go below, which is something that they didn't do, by the way, which I was kind of surprised about. Obviously the Deimos has been banned, but there's nothing to stop him from using the book. ENX coming up with a good response, and as such they will be defending this top floor again, but the bomb site will be lower. Bomb site in toward that mid floor level. And this is usually where we will see Furia go for their Sens Capital combination. Furia typically quite confident with just a half clear when attacking this site. Will look to get the plant down. JV92 should go and open up that exterior wall very early. There's nothing stopping him from being able to do that. There is a mirror, so if there is a mirror window placed on the wall, it could be a little bit tricky. And especially given that it's the thermite that has been chosen, but as we can see, Nade, he scoped it out for us. It is all clear and good to go. Oh, good opener. That's the smoke down straight away.
What I was going to say that having players with like really great gun skills kind of a cheat code when attacking this site, because normally the super 50-50 strat are just like, we're gonna bring smokes and brute force it and ignore the vert is like always pretty hard. But if you just have like, I don't know, Herds, KZ, and JV92, it's probably like 20% easier than the other team. Well, now it's 20% easier because you got an opening pick, and now Furia can just do what they were going to do anyway with a 5v4. I'd hate to be Sexy Cake right now, being the guy that's got to hold down sight when Herds is thinking about finding a gap on the middle floor. You have a long time to decide where they want to put this IQ in or where they want to just start pushing in general. Losing that smoke's going to be a problem. Can't drop them through the hatch or even stall out the push on the top floor anymore. Got 2 C4s for Angel and Florio, but aside from that, probably a lot of this plant denial is going to come down to this Mitrix on this Solus.
Fleetpox's patience right now, just waiting for those drones to come through. As soon as the drone rounds the corner, bam is there. That's the teamwork that we love to see with Furia.
I've not seen that before. Ollie, have you seen somebody on Buck go below to take down the one player inside of the site before? Because I don't think I have. Furia coming up with some new inventive solutions, and we don't even see a plant attempt on basement. It is a slaughter of ENX from the bottom, middle, and the top of Lair. Every single side of the map is Furia's.
I just love the way that Furia see the game. Dealing with the player on site by going below with the book. Genius. Drone work. Just the general team. I mean, Fleetpox is in that position for maybe 10, 15 seconds. Just patiently waiting. Yeah, you could start to rip open the floor and go a little bit early, but you lose the element of surprise there. And as soon as the drone rounds the corner, it's yes, he's there. And bam, 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 that skeleton key sings. At the same time, a collapsing on that top floor. The side player really is just kind of anchoring and waiting for the top floor to eventually come under pressure, have to drop off or die, and then start to deny the plant and really operate in the site. It's just kind of a bit of a guarantee. It's seen as a fairly easy position to play until later on where it does get quite stressful. Furia just making short work of everything top through bottom right there. A very comprehensive push for the mid floor. They'll move downstairs to the basement now.
So, Angels has failed to do work in the early round twice now, Ollie. Do we think the Vigil switch is going to make it happen?
5 seconds to go.
Will a looser roam be the solution?
I don't know if a looser roam is the solution, but if maybe he's just feeling a Boss G round, then fair enough, because we know what the Boss G can be a difference maker in a round, can't it?
Hey, was it Will or Joe who got 2 kills with their last Lair game?
Might be Joe actually had a fairly good game for the terrible way that he played a couple of 1 versus 1s. But a generally decent game aside from that.
XK gets clipped in the leg 30 seconds into the round. Not a whole lot to write home about, but just a little bit of a message from Furia that they're always watching. It's going to be a standard full clear by Furia with the presence of the Sledge and the Ram. They want to get that vert, investing quite heavily in it in their operator lineup. So we will see if Florio and Angel specifically has what it takes to stand tall against these Furia attackers. Because, well, at least we know, they don't yet, but we know that Furia are coming for them. And they've already started setting up cutoffs and worked themselves into positions to open up this vert.
Angels still playing loose. There's a lot of attention at the moment from Furia. Full top floor flank. I mean, there's no drone on this. There is a drone in reception. Nade's watching. And security hallway. So there's a good chance that he'll get the Vigil signal on the drone, but it isn't going to help them locate the Vigil any further, and you could just be mistaken for assuming that the Vigil is downstairs. I think a lot hinges on Angels and the success that he sees out there, especially with players like Herds already committing in toward lockers. The good line onto the site, already trying to catch players that are getting forced around because of this vert. Nade goes through. Wall's going to get Selmad open next to him. Toxic Babe's now used it around the minute mark. Still not bad. You can see Angels dipping back into his scanner there as well. The ER7 cloaking device, but boom, he's dealt with by Philippox. That roam is not going to work out this time.
Herds, who's been doing the classic Herds thing of just waiting at the door to the site for ages, waiting to see if a gap arises. It's a gunfight with Sexy Cake instead, and now as Philippox decides to get a double kill from the vert, that gives that IQ the perfect way into A site. Holding a very clean line on the rotations in between. Bach on the other side, spotted from not one, but two, but three angles. Gets shots from all of them, and Furia uncontested so far on Lair.
I don't want to say that it's looking easy for Furia, but they are
looking easy for Furia.
Yeah, they are just going through the motions right now. There is nothing that is too much trouble. And ENX are trying to throw some fairly decent obstacles in their way. I don't hate the Vigil going for that sort of late play. I think you know that Furia are going to get good control early. You tried to roam previously when you attempted this site and it didn't work. So a deeper, later roam seems like a better option. But Furia are just aware of it. I'd love to have seen that kill that Philippox got. I don't know if it was on a drone or if there was a bit of information that Nade was able to glean, because he was flicking the drones when the ER7 cloak was active. So they may have had an inkling as to where it was going to be coming from. The positioning from Furia so far has been, as you would expect, second to none. Back upstairs to Master and R6 for round 5. ENX really struggling for answers right now. The only thing that's worked for them is that clash on this top floor. And if there's one thing we know about this Furia roster, is that they are more than willing and more than capable of adapting round to round. I very much doubt that they are going to let that clash be a problem this time. We've already seen a bit of a change in the lineup. KZ's going to be bringing the Zofia this time. Nothing to deal with it directly vertically. I think recognizing that the clash can just find some pockets of safety to stand on, so vert isn't always going to be the way to go.
10 seconds left.
They are going to have to deal with Mitrix, as that was the big undoing of round number 2.
5 seconds left. Loading new mag. Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
So Zofia locked in by KZ, and Ollie pointed out as one potential solution for the clash. Interesting switch to the Aurora by Nade. Those doors can kind of go in a lot of different places on these sites, so it doesn't exactly kind of lock you into one style of execute as it does for some other ones in the game. I am intrigued by Sexy Cake bringing that Solus in much the traditional way that Solus used to be brought. Normally we see it nowadays, as Ollie and I talked about in the last game, of you. Whereas you, well, hold on, let me reset because I almost started doing the talking point out of order. Solus used to be brought down below, and you hold first floor when you're defending a second floor site to try to deny the plant that way. Nowadays, it's more second floor, you know, stopping a plant onto the first. Sexy Cake bringing it in that initial focus, but playing down below is going to be a lot trickier now that you're in a disadvantage. Angels, by the way, has been the opening pick 4 out of the 5 rounds we've played so far. He's always been the most aggressively positioned defender, and each time, whether it's at the beginning or the late round, he has been the first to fall in every round except round 3.
That was such a good way of dealing with the player outside of Ops as well. With KZ below, Zofia in hand, like lifeline ready to use, and then boom, the kill comes through straight away. Like as soon as the shots start getting fired, the lifeline's exploding on the floor, and Angels is just dead. What that also does is, because the floor's now open, it stops Mitrix from being able to push up as aggressively and control ops. So already a little bit more restricted in the ground that Clash can operate in. Very quickly now, we see Furia being able to open the wall into Master. Herds. The exterior wall open as well, and a great line on that mirror window. He's not afraid of challenging onto that. Oh, Mitrix caught out on the air jab as well. The air jab, a brilliant tool to use to try and gain an advantage on the Clash. JV is going to be the one opting to try and do that. Gets a chance, at least puts him down low, but Sexy Cake with some vertical play of his own. He'll find himself 2 for his troubles. Not the best 5 seconds there for Furia. Not only has JV let the Clash slip the net, but they've also lost 2 bodies.
As Sexy Cake, arguably the most 2 important kills of this round, has completely shifted Furia's fortunes. These smokes adding insult to injury. Because Nade wants to commit, use those doors to enable and execute over on op side, but there's the Shumikas. Never mind, just the toxic canister. Ooh, great foresight by Boxera. That's the exact kind of play Herds would want to make in a situation like this. ENX are ready for it, and now Nade in a really tricky spot. Should be taken down. Was the defuse? No, never mind. ENX let it go down successfully. I don't know how much info Nade is working with. Doubt he can find a great position for these roar doors either. But you can see how concerned they are with the presence over by bathroom. Instead, it's Nade over by ops. A lot of time running down. Bach will throw out a smoke, but Nade can still peek in through the breach. Can nail down Boxera if the pre-fire doesn't land. Incredible prescience by Bach, not only with that pre-fire, but anticipating the backstab from Herds, making good on the performance we saw yesterday.
Top floor continuing to elude Furia there. It was definitely a little bit closer. Having actually gotten the plant down this time, but still in a 1 versus 2 for Nade. Sexy Cake. He's been that loose player for ENX. You think of Sexy Cake, and in my mind, I just can't, and it's because that's when I started watching, and that's for the longest time where he was. I just can't shake the thought of him as being the solid support for Liquid. And unfortunately, players that stay on rosters for a long time doing the same thing, they kind of get typecast a little bit into that sort of category. But you forget that on this ENX roster, he's actually quite an aggressive roamer. And he will go for some of these more risky plays. And the risk paying off in round number 5. A double kill, which certainly assisted ENX coming away with the round there. JV did have a bit of a moment in the sun, but as was the last time that we saw him play Lair in the first half, was fairly quiet, and it was really the second half where he started to ramp up, and that performance became a lot more toward what we're expecting with his current scoreline and stats line. But it's going to be the final round on the attack at the moment for Furia. Back to that mid floor. Now, there was a very early opening pick, and Furia seemed to do a lot of the work from outside last time. Got a slightly different setup to deal with here and now. Still going to be a couple of mirror windows kicking around, but Herds is certainly wasting no time. Already into ops, already with the wall open. Ash charge sent through as well. Got a nice little flank drone on Rocket, which you can now rotate round. Already knocking on the door of Master.
Knocking on the door to Master, also looking over towards the New Bridge side. Classic Furia attack. Station somebody at every single one of these entrances and see where the defense is weakest. Nade will run into the most successful player for ENX in the past 2 days, though. Playing the operator that is always meant to control the hallway. SMG-11 and shotgun, perfect kit for these kinds of engagements. That pistol's good. Nade's good, too. But dealing with that smoke is always easier said than done. ENX with their first opening pick of the half so far, coming at exactly the right time. Great shot by Herds. Everything generally going ENX's way as while Nade gets that kill, he works himself into a really tricky position with a nice pre-fire. Takes down his immediate attacker, Herds, one of his own around the corner. It's been a very hectic take of the top floor, but ENX and Sexy Cake specifically, the master of these vertical angles. 3 of his kills coming from below up to the top, but 1 bullet of HP. What's quicker? A shotgun or Herds with the R4C? Now's the ultimate test if you were curious in finding out. Herds looking to land that pre-fire. Ash charge in hand. What is the game here? Throwing in the middle of the floor. Just knows where his target is. Neither one able to get a shot on the other. He hits the prone, but does Sexy Cake hear it? Still quick peeking back and forth. A duel if there's ever been one before. Herds now going for the full rotate. Indecisive as to where he wants to end up. Spotted on the default camera. Big info for Sexy Cake, who's deciding where to play himself. Remains inside of the site. The smart decision here. As with a barricade in Herd's way, he telegraphs the exact rotation he wanted to pull off. Sexy Cake fires some shots. Lets him know that I know you're there, yet Herds makes it across in time. Takes refuge behind the pillar. Looking to force this Ash off the plant. No C4 to do it. Herds does it of his own accord. But with the shotgun around the corner, still no shots landing. Surely something's gotta give! It's attempt number 9, it feels like, as Herds with another pre-fire gets the 1 bullet required to get a 4-2 half.
I feel like Herds really milked that. I think he could have done that a lot sooner and a lot more effectively. But fair play. You can't underestimate that shotgun. In a 1 versus 1, when those angles are very tight and close, he made a great decision. Rotate round. Make it more of an SMG-11 engagement. Just puts you in a much better position. It just levels the score, levels the playing field back down to being evens because you've both got ARs at distance, or both got automatic weapons at distance, as opposed to going up against that shotgun. We'll know how devastating it can be. A lot of 1 versus 1s this game so far. Really hasn't been so clear cut, has it? So 1v1 clutch for Herds. Close out round number 6. It does put Furia with an advantage going into the turn of the half. ENX, 40% attacker win rate. Again, not something that they're particularly known for. Their attacks have been fairly weak on the whole. So with a difficult map like Lair ahead of them and a deficit straight out of the gate, it is not going to be easy. Double denial banned by ENX. I believe we have a shield banned by Furia.
Bomb located by attackers. You can stop worrying about grenades now.
Yeah, shielding the Ying.
Double hard breach now, not all that shocking. I feel like it's pretty common on any map. The moment you have like exterior walls with a decent amount of focus, it feels like the hard breach denial always gets banned. Like Lair, Night Haven, Clubhouse.
Heading out to defuse a bomb.
I'd say those are the main 3 that I could think of off the top of my head. That it feels like, you know, with the exterior walls, like over in A site, for example, or on Night Haven over in like IT, Clubhouse, Plat Wall, Jacuzzi. Kind of hard to counter. Also stops you from getting in the building.
Shield going out.
There you go. There's some analysis on the most common, one of the most common bans in the game.
Great job.
I thought it was all right.
That's what we're here for.
Quite literally, it's what that's what we're both here for. Like, we get paid to do that. You know what Hertz gets paid to do? Go 10 and 3.
I'm gonna download one of these VODs one day and just watch it from Herds' POV.
I have done that before. Let me tell you, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's fun watching somebody who's just got an instinct for timing. Like, I don't know how he does it sometimes. Like, you can see the thought process, but there's just sometimes where he just makes a decision, and I'm like, if you decided to push in on half a second on either side of when you did, it would have been a lot closer, and yet somehow you just knew. It's like the curse of being smart enough to know how somebody did something, yet also not good enough to ever do it yourself.
Does look like a little bit of a confused take right now from ENX.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Matrix
I'm not
is
really
wanting
quite sure.
to walk up Rocket, but I mean, there's not too much that he's going to be able to do. KZ's fairly happy with where he is right now. Yeah, it'd be nice if he could move, but JB's going to free that right up for him. Angels will find his second kill of the game. KZ eventually dealt with, but a lot of time has been soaked up on those rocket stairs.
A lot of times, so... Ooh, okay, hold on. That might have been an opportunity for the 4v3 there, and that really opens things up. But it's been a really confused take overall, as you said. We were on Ops for the first minute, then Rocket for the second minute. We found one kill in the process, but lost our Capitao solo hopping into bathroom. ENX still not at any particularly good solutions for this problem, which, to be fair, we've seen a lot of teams tonight, even Furia as well, really struggle with these top Rocket takes. NIP, then 9Z, then Furia, now ENX, all having a lot of trouble pushing beyond this staircase. So while it's ENX suffering the problem, it's one certainly not unique to them tonight so far. It's especially more difficult when Herds is hitting shots like that. The 416, not a gun that's forgiving on the recoil. Good for one, but then the ENX good for the second too. So Nade and Felipox going to hold on for just 6 more seconds. Felipox telegraphing the position with that LMG. Matrix working his way in to get this diffuser down. Surely they've got the coverage to do so. Furia are long on angles at the moment, unfortunately. Great shot by Felipox. Nade traded out, sadly. And Tachanka fighting for his life inside the site. ENX spent a long time figuring out they try every single entrance. And the third time's the charm.
Eventually managing to get it done under the cover of the Blackbeard. The Capitao paying the price there, not able to... I mean, the utility usage was great. It really cut off the player at the top of Rocket. But ENX, a confused take, but one that works out in the end. Maybe you look back at that with hindsight and go, they were just poking and prodding for the best possible angle. And when they found it, they fully committed to it. Not many teams, as you mentioned, Lynx, have won that top floor site tonight. Yet ENX have done so in their first round on the attack. Best way possible that they could have started things here. They now only trail by 1 round. They can move on to attacking this basement site. Rorador's at least hovered for the time being from Florio. It really does seem like a good map for Rora. A lot of teams will play Rora on specific sites, but at least on labs, you kind of get it on. You can kind of play it on all 3, honestly.
5 seconds to insertion.
Deimos on a Twitch switched in at the last second. Angels giving himself the best chance on the Finker.
He's pissed about this 2 and 7.
Yeah, he needs to do something about that.
2 and
I
7.
mean, that opening pick has been dreadful for him, hasn't it? 1, 2, 3. He's died 4 times on the opening pick.
Hey, to be fair, 2 of those came in rounds that ENX won, so like, at least you've got that, I guess. JV92 got a prox in pocket for when the nade goes through. I love that from him. He said, "Oh, you got the Banshee?" No, you didn't. It's been a bit of a forgettable JV92 performance.
It actually has. For someone that's at the top of the pops in terms of leaderboard, forgettable is a great way of describing it.
It has actually been a rather top-heavy game for Fury at the moment. Not to say the other players are doing bad, but definitely has been Herds leading the way in a lot of these rounds.
I think Nade's had a good game.
Nade has had a good game, but Casey, by the way, knows with the game being played here. There's clearly recognition. Oh my god! Wow, Angels fries KZ. Good night. That's a hell of a way to make an entry back into the game. 3 and 7 King. He's just one tapping his ghost at this point. But Herds likes a challenge. That's the shock drone. Herds 90 HP, but he'll back up after that.
I think that's worthy of a call out.
I lied. Why would Herds fall back? I don't know if he needs to be doing that, by the way. I know he's ratting, but they are in sub, and they've got the door control.
I think the ratting's fine at this point because whilst, yeah, ENX have got the opening pick, what else have they really done? They've not got any soft breach, so they're not going to be trying to get in and take mid-floor. they really are just fighting to try and dislodge these players, and Herds is doing a really good job of harassing and wasting time. Philippox at the top of these blue stairs. Some unfortunate timing with his utility there. He'll pop the gas, but it's just too late. Janky Shumika launches from Nade now relied on to try and ensure that that bunker is safe. Mitrix can take a little bit of damage through that. Those Shumikas are only going to be good for so long, and players, if they're full HP, and especially with a Finker Stim, can just push straight through them.
Knew that Finka announcing her presence. Sexy Cake tagged up a little bit, but dodges the C4, so let's still hold on to life for the time being. Another very, very late ENX execute down to 8 seconds remaining. Nade tagged up quite nice, but Herds holding the off angle. Gets the first. Who's getting in to put this diffuser down? Are we going to have time? Bogzera right at the red zone. And ENX just controlling the pace enough to move us into the post and evade the biggest bit of danger. Bogzera down on the fall off, as with Herds having a castle barricade behind him, is able to rotate out effectively. Mitrix is ready for it though. Downs the Aurora, but he's got this shield. Just be careful. Keep that shield up. You don't need to fight, just waste time. Goes to knock him down! He flips around, exposes his head, and gives Herds all 5!
I don't think I've ever seen that happen. He flips the entire wrong way.
His sensitivity looked a little too high.
Even Herds is looking at it like pulling a little face. A little pursed lip, sort of. That shouldn't have happened. Oh dear, oh dear. Thrown round from ENX in a game where they've been fairly competitive.
These attacks have not been perfect, but they've been good enough.
They've played a good game, considerable for the game that's in front of them. I think they're playing fine. That would have been 4-5.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
They've already been successful on this top floor once. Maybe they could have done that again. A little bit of a missed opportunity. Herds has definitely got the team in his back pocket tonight, though. 16-4 right now.
10 seconds to go.
Just a little clean ace as well.
5
16-4.
seconds to insertion.
What, 3K? And
3K
an ace
in
at
round
this point?
6. Yeah. Ace in round 8.
To defuse a bomb.
It ain't nothing.
All in a day's work. Light work from Herds. That was also 1vx, by the way, that Bunk's briefing round. Without it is worth noting, without Herds getting active like that, without that 3K, the 1v1, without that ace, it's 5-3 ENX. Gotta point it out. So far, only site ENX have won on both sides is R6 room, which is where we're going back to, so maybe 5-4 in the cards.
Herds clearly brimming with confidence right now.
I wouldn't want to peek him in this position.
I mean, we typically don't see players do too well playing too far up in ops. And currently that's exactly where he is. Oh, okay, it's Herds. And JV92 joins in on the fun. JV's like, yep, I'll keep you safe, don't worry. Still a player on the upside down rappel.
We just didn't need to do that.
Well, I think KZ thought that the troll time was sanctioned, but it definitely wasn't just yet.
Hey, with momentum like that, you can forgive a man for getting overconfident. Oh, Herds, of course. Herds does not need to be doing this. I just want this to be clear. Herds does not need to be doing all this. Literally has a Kiba, could put it on the window or the door and fall back. Is Herds going to do that? No. Half the round to go, and he was trying to look for more. Makes the wise decision, by the way. Backs up. Play inside of office for the remainder.
I mean, the round should be dead and buried from this point. There's no hard breach from ENX. They're going to be left pushing single doors and windows. And with the smoke, Goyo canisters in play. Ain't going to be too straightforward to make that happen. They will take control of ops, and Bot can start to walk his way up these rocket stairs.
I'm reloading.
We're not going to have any alternate angles of attack. Hertz and Nade pretty low right now, though. 45 seconds, and there's still a bit of attacker utility floating around that they can try and use. Particularly, they've got a lot of nades. They should be able to dislodge some of these players.
Bird's just registering a hit for the brief second there. Oh, but Nade, yeah. Oh, he lives? God is on Herd's side. Never mind. Bogzera decided to intervene. One well-placed shot from below puts an end to the menace. Good grenade usage for ENX, but again, an execute coming really low on time. To this attack's credit, they've been good at finding these late-round gunfights and winning important moments. Bellapox gets the better of them here, and that downside is, when you're not winning them, you've got no cushion to fall back on. ENX lose on time. Furia move up to match point.
Got to credit ENX there because they did the best that they could with the tools that they had. I mentioned they had 3 nades, and that was really their win condition. They had to make something happen. They got a kill onto Herds with one of them. That's great. They weren't able to make the second one work. And again, you're still going to be pushing through that single doorway, given that you've lost your hard breach in the opening, 30 seconds? So it was always going to be a very difficult round for ENX to try and salvage. And they maybe would have done better by pivoting into a slightly different take, given that they didn't have the ideal tools for the job for that sort of front-sided ops push. However, Furia were able to stand firm and put themselves onto map point right now. We get a bandit and a smoke ban. I'd have left, sorry, not a bandit, a Blackbeard. I'd have left the Blackbeard in, honestly. Herds is able to deal with that thing, no problem. Just punch the shield, wait for him to look the wrong way. Boom, shoot him in the back.
Easy as pie. It's so predictable. It's so replicable. You can just do it every time. You break into his team house, double his sensitivity, he's screwed. Like, why is my mouse on 800 DPI?
Changing mags. Deploying jammer.
So what? Nade below on the site.
Jammer ready to activate.
Rest of the gang up top.
It's usually the winning formula, isn't it? I mean, Nade could play upstairs, to be fair.
That's what that's gonna say. I actually don't think you'd want the clash below.
Practice care and caution. Only when the mission calls for it.
See, this is the thing, is like, because Nade might be good to below, because he's got the shield for protection. He can also, like, plant it and take a fight if he wants, but also, like, no, do you want like, Herds below? Just to, like, you know, he's hot right now, and he's winning every fight, so that way if somebody tries to get aggressive and push in, you've got him there.
Shield deployed.
I mean, there's the other argument of, do they need anyone below just yet? Play with the hatch
True.
open, they could very quickly drop for that. The ENX should be getting this exterior wall open, though. There's not going to be too much stopping them. The clash is going to be the problem. We've already seen how well it has worked for ENX. Actually going to be KZ on the site. Got a good little early warning system around him with those FNATs. Nade can just sort of harass on this long Skybridge angle. I mean, that's probably the worst thing that you could look down Skybridge and see, is going to be a clash shield.
The human drone.
It's just horrible, isn't it?
Off. F not activated.
See the information relayed in real time. Nade calling out that there's not any presence there right now, so KZ flicks off those F-Knots, turns on a couple others closer to home. Calculations being run by ENX, though. Firebolt pulled out, likely going to try to deal with that clash. And if there's anybody downstairs at bottom green window, Nade might be in a very tricky position. Out goes the utility. And yeah, there we go. Really well-coordinated pinch. Fire to push her back, and instead of shooting, they just push her into the pipe and blow it up. Really great usage of that, and I have to imagine Furia could be popping that pipe next time they run this strat.
Furia do still have good control upstairs. They've got the shotguns to make a little bit more vert if they feel like they need it. But with that breach open, there is always the risk and vulnerability that you're just going to get smoked off. JV is going to be playing the Warden, so should be able to see through that. Be an aggressive play from KZ here as well. There is going to be a BP on the site. Brilliant pick there from KZ. Oh, he makes it 2. Not quite the highlight reel. Eventually shut down, but time enough for Sexy Cake to recover the diffuser. Maybe try and execute this plant.
And JV92 has unfortunately been rendered obsolete as KZ takes down the the only two smoke operators for the attack. The JV doesn't have to worry about turning on those glasses anymore. Herds and Fellabox both with C4s they can just drop from above. Angels thinks he's found a way in. He'll spot one on the hatch very briefly. Finds an important fight as JV92 gets the kill just before, but again, low on time with angles galore. Bogzera works his way into the bunks, and can Furia just find the angle, whittling him down? Oh, Angels in the clutch! Catches it right at the last second and saves the game for ENX. Bach will remain on that diffuser, spotted and downed, but his number was called much early on. And is Angels have it in him, or is he number 19, marked for death against Herds? Half the time's gone. Well-timed flash as Herds peeks in. C4 sent out, but he pushes in deep! From 0-4 on the entry to bailing ENX out. Angels coming in with the clutch.
Brilliant play from Angels. I love the aggression and the calculation to push in instead of just wait for that C4 and play passively on the breach. The second time tonight that we've seen members of Furia caught with a piece of utility in their hand as opposed to a gun at the worst possible moment. That's just siege timing for you. But ENX doing a really good job of knowing when to aggress. In a way, I do kind of want to question the angle that was chosen to try and stop the plant from going down, because there was pixels in between the bars. And when you're trying to tap fire a vector or something like that, I mean, anything's going to be difficult. I do wonder if Furia could have just gotten a slightly better angle to deny that diffuser going down in the first place. A lot of the hard work had been done. You'd mentioned there that the Sens and the Capital both removed, so they had full visibility as to where that was going down. That wasn't the problem. And a plant going down with two people still left upstairs. A bold round from ENX, but they're going to have to be bold if they want a win or some points here tonight against Furia. 6-4. Downstairs we go. That's been a successful attacking round previously for Furia. Another round where we saw Angels involved in that opening engagement. This time he actually got the kill.
Oh.
Oh dear.
KZ not a big fan of what Angels pulled in the previous round. Gotta feel bad for him on that one. Here's what the plan here is, because normally you see the shield by the door and it indicates a rush, but then you normally see the Nook by the door and it indicates a lurk. When you have
They're canceling one another out.
Yeah, when you have the Nook and the Monty next to each other, I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? Oh my god, the Gershma and JB92 prone behind this desk. Oh, this could be nasty. Oh! Wow, JB92 has been found out. Floorboards ripped open above him and blended up on the middle. KZ now looking to drop back, but Bach, oh my god, passive flank watch? What the hell am I watching? ENX getting crazy with it too. Mitrix with a pistol inside of the site, just holding on as things are still close. No Angel to fly in and bail them out. It's got to be Mitrix, and now it's got to be Bogzera. Only player positive for ENX so far. Instrumental in the game yesterday, putting so much damage into Herds, but not enough to write home about. Great clutch from Angels in round 10, but the inevitable still arrives. Furia close out the game 7-4.